Welcome to How to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Let's explain New Handtrap 2026.
Chapter 1. Hello there, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak. Chapter 2.
Okay, so let's talk about it. The Raise Moon archetype. We're going to talk about this card that you see in front of you, as this is a new hand trap coming out in OCG. We're possibly going to get this next year. I don't think we're going to get this year. Like, it's a deck build pack. The chance of us getting it this year is quite slim. But anyways, let's read its effect. Raise Moon Starter Squeeze. Quick effect, you can discard this card, then activate one of these effects. But you can only use each of these effects of Raise Moon Starter Squeeze once per turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck until the end of the next turn, except rank 7 monsters. Also, this turn, each time a card is added to your opponent's hand, except by drawing it, immediately draw one card. Draw one card. You cannot add cards from the deck to the hand during the duel you activate this effect, except by drawing them. So what does this mean? First of all, this is one of the first hand traps that we have in the game that has, monster hand trap anyway, that has a very strong restriction. What other hand traps you've had have had a strong restriction are the dominus traps, right? And they have had a significant effect on deck building. Especially in the TCG, it's meant that hand traps have been more balanced, similar to the Malcharmies, right? Malcharmies have the restriction where you can only activate them if you control 2 cards. You have the Dominus cards that you can only activate them if you only in the hand, but you can't activate particular attributes for the rest of the duel. So yeah, and then we have this, meaning that you cannot, when you activate this card from the hand, you cannot search cards for the rest of the duel. However, whenever your opponent searches, you're going to be able to draw 1 card. So it stops you from searching, but if they search and this is activated, you can draw 1 card every time they search. It's basically a shared ride as a monster card, which is fantastic. Okay. And I think this is the sort of hand traps we need more of in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hand traps which are powerful, but have strong costs to them. I think it goes back to what I was saying before of adding costs to a card. And I think I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I expect to see this card everywhere, especially chained with Malcharmies, right? This means that obviously this is not a card for every deck, but I think going forward, if Konami is going to be making decks that search more, right? If we're going to be having searching becoming a primary staple, then I think a hand trap like this is much better, much healthier, especially if we're going to be banning Droll and Lockbird. I think this card is a much better alternative to Droll and Lockbird. Hopefully we'll see that card go. And being able to not search when you activate a hand trap, I think, is a fair trade-off, considering you'll just be able to draw unlimited amount of times, only though when your opponent searches, right? When your opponent searches. I think that's all I've got to say about this. Tune in next time as I talk about more things on this channel. Hope to see you soon.
We come to the end of this video. So, as I like to say, you are one step closer to becoming a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master. My fate, right, is in your hands.